What's going on? It's time for another episode of Too Hard for the Radio. Transmitting from the future-free state of Greater Idaho, I am the one-armed madman. And from the Badlands of southern Montana, it's Nolan, 5150. What's up, man?
Got a little trim on the old locks today. I was pretty nervous.
You got a what?
A haircut.
Oh, shit, dude. The last time I've went to the barber, the last 2 times I went to the barber, man, I've gotten just butchered. The beard really fucked me. Like, the hair, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can do whatever to the hair. I can't grow long hair anymore because I can't pull it back.
Yeah.
So I have to have short hair. Otherwise, I'd have hair long like yours, you know. But it's just impossible to sleep with if you can't put it back. But, yeah, I don't even remember where I was going with that. Oh, yeah, the beard trim. Yeah, dude, he freaking gutted me on the sides. So it turned into this, like, straight just... It looked so bad. I got out, and, like, I had him do a mohawk because I was going to Black Label Society concert. And, dude, it was sideways, and it was just all fucked up. I had to shave my head. And it took, like, I ain't even joking, probably 6 months for my beard to fill back out.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's how a lot of good beards die. For the most part,
yeah.
I trim my own beard, but I tell everybody all the time, like guys hit me up for beard grooming advice, and I'm like, less is more, man. Dude. Just a little bit at a time, because you get a little antsy, and then next thing you know, you look like a fucking pedo, and you got to shave it all off.
Yep, dude. The last time I cut mine, it was like down to like here.
Yeah.
And I just got out of the shower one day and I was like, fuck this. And I just pulled it down straight like that and took some scissors and just yank.
Yep.
And took like 6 or 8 inches off of it, off the bottom.
Yeah. I've gone
not off the top.
I've had my beard like touched up a couple times from barbershops, and every time it's just like you said, for some goddamn reason, it's like one big tip I would give is, if you're getting your beard trimmed, make sure that the person that's trimming it has a fucking beard of their own so they know what they're working with, right? But every time it's just it's super short on the cheeks, and I'm like, what? I don't know who taught you to do this, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Dude, I get like 2 bad spots on my beard, like right down in here where you go from like your neck into your, I get these like big wings that just start growing out, and they're tough to get. Like if you go in too far, you take out too much. It's tough, and you don't know when to do it. Like, do you do it while it's wet or while it's dry? You know, because while it's wet, shit looks a little bit different when it's wet than when it's dry.
Preach.
You cut that shit when it's wet, and then it dries out, and it's like up on one side, and you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
I just had to take a little off the side the other day because I got out of the shower. I was like, Jesus, this is like an inch longer than the rest of it.
And that's honestly the best way to do it. Like, just fucking let it grow. And then when you see parts that are fucking not symmetrical or growing out a little bit funky, you just give it a little. It's like a goddamn bonsai tree, okay?
Yeah. It's tough to do with one hand. You start trying to get the left side with the right hand.
Yeah.
And there's like trying to pull it aside and like hold it with the stump, and like I get scared doing it every time. Like you said, it gets freaking scary every time. And then if you're doing it at the barbershop, you're like trying to watch everything the guy's doing, even though you can't see anything. Like they make sure and turn you away from the mirror so you can't backseat drive them.
Right, dude. The last place I went to here in Billings, I'm not gonna name them because I don't want to, like, not that anybody's listening.
Name them.
It was all said and done, and I looked in the mirror, and the chick that was trimming my beard was like,
bad move.
She's like, so what do you think? And I gave it the old, I was like, well, That's a good thing about hair. It grows back, right? Here's your tip.
Dude, I can't even, like, I'm such a pushover that I don't even, like, inspect closely when it's done because it's like, it's done already.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
It's like,
have you add more hair back to the places you fucked up?
Yeah.
So I just wait until I get home.
Right.
You know, it's like, what am I going to do? Argue with you? I'm either going to come back or I'm not. You know, I haven't gone. There was one place that I went to. I went to this, like, I don't know, he's a Middle Eastern guy in Boise, and he was fucking good. He lined me up good. Did the beard good. But he charged me like $150 to do the hair and the beard.
Damn.
Which is no joke.
Yeah. Well, if you're charging that much, you better fucking do a goddamn good job.
Yeah. That was the nice thing about living in the city is like, no matter who you're hooked up with, like whatever group you're floating with or wherever you're working, there's always some chick going to cosmetology school or like failed out of cosmetology school. So there's always someone around to cut your hair.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
There was this chick that used to work at Johnny Carino's. Remember that bar I used to work at, that restaurant? Actually, why would I even call it a bar? There was this chick that used to cut hair, and she was smoking hot. And I wanted to bang her or something fierce. And she was like, will you let me dye your hair? And I'm like, yep. You know, like, I don't, you know, whatever you want. And, dude, she had these big old double Ds, and she just rock your head back. And you're like, yeah. The good old days.
Yeah, I believe one of your coworkers there was, I think, the second time I got propositioned to be a male stripper.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't remember. It was some server. It was her daughter's birthday, and I was in there scoring some of the free salad.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
No shit. Did you do it?
No, I should have.
Why not? Plus, you should have done
scared,
it.
Man.
I never had the body for that shit.
I was in my prime. I could have Magic Mike'd the shit out of that.
Oh, yeah, dude. I had the arms for it, but I never had the rest was just lacking, to say the least. So I started the fucking the room today. So I've had a couple. I'm turning my dining room into a bedroom with a bathroom in it. So I've had today was my third contractor to come in, and the first guy came in and he gave me he bid it at $13,000 without the plumbing. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't. I'm just not going to spend $13,000. So I start doing some math. I'm like, all right. How long is this going to take this fucking guy? I look around. I go, this can't take him more than 40 hours. Let's call it 40 hours. I think that's, a fair assessment of how long it's going to take. How much is $13,000 for you? It came out he was charging like $240 an hour or some bullshit like that. So I look up like what's the average wage of a handyman national, and it's like I think it was between 60 and 120 or something like that, which great average. And so I text him back. I'm like, yeah, man, dude, at these prices, you're charging double the national average. And he goes, well, you get what you pay for. Mm-hmm. You don't want somebody. And this snake, he was trying to fuck me. He comes in, he bids the job. He's like, all right, I'll send you the bid. Give me your email. And yeah. And maybe I had given him. I don't think I'd even given him my email yet. So he's like, I'll send you over the bid. So the next day he texts me. He's like, hey, man, I can start on that thing today if you want me to.
Yep.
And I'm like, you haven't sent me your bid yet.
Yep.
He's like, oh, yeah. Why don't you send me your email? I'm like, yeah, fuck you. And, I'm in a hurry. I got to decide if I'm going to take your job or this other job, so I don't want to get fucked over. So I need you to let me know. It's like, yeah, dude, how about you tell me how much you're going to charge me first?
Right. And give me a
I
fucking
had this other guy.
itemized breakdown of what costs what.
I was just going to. So I bought a hot tub, and I'm putting a hot tub into the back. So I got two projects going right now. I had one guy come over and bid cutting a foot off of my deck and pouring a 7x7 by 6-inch or 4-inch concrete slab. And he bids it at $2,900. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? And he didn't itemize it. And I'm like, let me see an itemized bill on this shit, dude. And so he itemized it down, and he was going to charge me $850 to remove a foot of redwood deck. So I was just like, fuck that, you know. I'm gonna go. This sounds way too high. So I'm like talking to him on the phone, and I'm trying to like get off the phone with him because I just don't want to argue with this guy. He's overcharging me, and he just moved here from Washington, which was funny. And he goes, I tell him like, yeah, man, I'm not paying that much. That's just too much. I had another guy bid the concrete, and he was gonna charge me, you know, $800 for just the concrete, you know, this is wild. And he's like, well, that's just the market. I'm like, how the fuck do you know what the market is? You just fucking moved here. Tell me what the market is in my state. Kiss my ass. So I ended up getting a Mexican out here to do it for $500.
Everything?
The entire fucking thing. Yeah. $500.
Nice.
That's the market. Yeah. Trying to triple charge. Not more than that. I mean, shit. $3,000. Yeah. I mean, he's charging me 6 times what this Mexican, and it's a concrete slab. I mean, oh, you get what you pay for. It's like, it's concrete and it's got a hot tub on top of it. What the fuck does it, how neat, like nice does it need to be?
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't sink into my backyard, I think we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I after that first guy came over, I decided, fuck this. I've done drywall and shit before. I've built a couple walls in my day. I can do this by myself. I'll just do the whole fucking thing. And then I got a call back from one of the other contractors that I'd talked to, and I called him back, and he's like, yeah, let me come over and take a look at it. We'll get it done for cheap. And he came by today, and I decided to do the demo. Bad move. Bad move. I think, you know, the thought is I'll do the demo, save myself a little bit of money. You know, I'm going to do the floor. I'm going to do the painting, you know, shit like that. I can do the demo. He goes, he takes it. He comes in. He goes, why'd you remove so much drywall? Damn it. So me cutting out all, like doing the demo is going to cost me more than it saved me, I think, because now he's got to put in all the extra drywall that I took out like an idiot. And, you know, I start ripping and tearing. I'm standing there looking at everything. I'm like, God damn, dude. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And like one of my tenants is an electrician. He's like, yeah, I'll help you with it. I want to learn how to do this type of shit. And he makes a mistake right off the bat. And I'm like, fuck. And, you know, it wasn't his fault. Like, I didn't explain what, you know, and I'm trying to like calm him down about it. It's like, it's fine, dude. Don't worry about it. And then I start tearing more drywall out after that. So it's like, dude, if we would have stopped at your mistake, we'd have been a whole lot better off than you just told me to fucking get off the ladder.
Yeah.
So now I'm $100 in on a drywall saw.
Yeah.
and I did too much fucking demo. So that's what I get for trying to save money.
Right?
I mean, the shitty part is like, if I had somebody here who like knew what they were doing, they'd just be like, oh, you'd go here, you're going to cut that, you're going to build your wall like from here. Then I'd be like, all right, now I know what, like now I can do that.
Yeah.
You know, now I know it. But dude, just looking at it, sitting there by myself, I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then I'm exhausted too, because I ripped and teared on that shit all day. I dropped a piece of drywall from the top corner. I was trying to pull a nail out without getting on the stool, and it just comes crashing down, hits me right in the fucking forehead. Now it feels like I got punched in the head.
Oh, fuck.
I got a big fucking welt on my forehead. Beautiful. But I don't know. Hopefully, sounds like this guy should be able to do the job for a price that I'm willing to pay.
Yeah, that's
you know,
that's the big thing about finding contractors. Same thing with like finding, you know, hiring a mechanic or any kind of stuff like that. That's why you're supposed to get multiple bids. You know, you get 2, 3, 4. If you're still not happy, get 5 or 6 bids until you find a contractor that sounds like they know what they're talking about and has a reasonable price. That's all you really can do.
Yeah. And I think I might have fucked myself a little bit too. So he asked me, like, you know, probably like 20 minutes after he'd been here, he's like, how long you lived here? And I was like, 8 years. And he goes, oh, really? And he like changed, like he was nice before anyways, but it like whoa, like changed his tune a little bit. And I was like, oh yeah, my phone number. He's like, yeah, your phone number says you're San Francisco. And he goes, a lot of contractors up here are taking advantage of people who just moved here.
Exactly.
You know, they just moved here. They go, fuck you.
Yep.
You just stole my kid's house. You know, I'm going to charge you up the ass, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about anyways. So that could have been part of it.
I mean, unfortunately, it's their right to do that. And there's a lot of people that have no idea what they're doing, and they just take the first bid that comes along, and they're like, yeah, okay, cool. And that's huge. Sounds totally accurate with locals taking advantage of implants, transplants, or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I've dealt with it.
But the weird part was the one guy who had just moved here and then tried to rip somebody off right after he moved here. Like, don't you think that's just such a snake move? It pissed me off. Like, I've still got his number, and I'm going to send him a picture of the pad and the bill. Just because, like, fuck you, man. Well, don't come here, move to my fucking state, and then tell me it's the market. Like, you set the fucking market. Like, you know what you're talking about, and you're just gonna, oh, it's just the market. Sorry, market. We're like, dude, I know about the market. I know the market better than you do, motherfucker. All right? What do you think I've been doing sitting here for the last 8 years, learning the fucking markets and shit? Like, tell me. That set my libertarian fucking autism off through the fucking, like, dude, like, I was nice to him until he said that, and I was like, and then I just, what the fuck? And I just went nuts. I was so mad. It just, like, I was all good, and then you had to jump into my domain, right. and at that point, it was done. Don't tell me. You don't move here and set the market, motherfucker. That's not how it works. You adjust to the market in your area. You don't fucking import your market.
I tell you what the market is. You don't tell me,
dickhead.
Motherfucker.
Exactly. Yeah, and you know what's going to tell you what the market is? When you're sitting at home next week, not working, while this Mexican's over here cleaning fucking house. And they wonder why, why we're not shutting the borders down, Why don't they shut down the borders? Yeah, because white people don't want to work. Look at me. I'm doing everything possible in my fucking limited ability to earn to not work for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And, I that's not who I would have been without, getting hurt. But I've always would have loved to just sit at home. Like, I always thought it was funny. Like, I remember right after I moved here, my neighbor was like, man, don't you get bored? And I was like, fuck no. What are you talking about? And he's like, don't you want to go back? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? No, I don't want to go back to work. You fucking crazy? What's wrong with you?
So both those contractors set off like the top two red flags for any contractor situation. Number one, not giving you an itemized estimate. And that's what I always love. It's an estimate for a reason. This is a ballpark of what we think we're going to have to deal with. It goes up. It should, it goes up a lot, but in my with jobs I do, I'll actually be like, this is a middle ground of what I think we're going to encounter. If it ends up being a cakewalk, I will knock off a couple $100 or whatever if it ends up being a breeze. But that and then the market value statement, those two red flags back to back should just be like, okay, thanks, I'll call you. Don't call me.
See ya. Thanks. Yep. Nice to know you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Oh man, this reminds me of. So I go into the pharmacy this week to go pick up a prescription, and they hired this new girl recently. She was there the last time I was there, and she was like punk rock looking. She had, like tattoos on her arms and shit, which, I don't give a fuck. I'm punk rock. If I could afford tattoos on my arms, I'd have fucking tattoos on my arms. But she was so dumb, she couldn't find my fucking prescriptions. I stood there for like 10 minutes, and she refused to ask somebody because she didn't want to look like a fucking idiot, even though they could all see what was going on. And I was waiting for another one anyway, so finally I was like, you know what? I'll just come back tomorrow, and I just fucking pieced out. So I go back yesterday, and she's working the front. And, dude, between this week and last week, holy shit. She's wearing, like, bright pink and purple eyeshadow that is like a fucking raccoon drag queen. And then she has shaved the entire side of her head, which, you know, is a style. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. Like, I don't think it looks great all the time. Like, some chicks pull it off, but, you know, it's a style.
Yeah.
I could be okay with that.
Oh, yeah.
But the weirdest part was she had one piece of hair still here, like a Jew curl going down from the side of her ear. So bald Jew curl. And she kept fucking twirling with it and shit. And I'm just like, holy fucking shit. What is wrong with you people?
I can totally, like, I can picture that scenario so vividly in my mind of you just like getting triggered, just like
and it's like, how could you hire this? How could, when she came into work today, how could you just be like, hey, look, you know, I get it, but you know, there's some makeup removal and some hair clippers on aisle 4. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Like, this is not happening. Like, okay, yeah, tattoos and the hair, whatever. But that thing and those, dude, she looked like she should be making fucking TikTok videos about gender. And her name was Brand, like Brandy, but without the I or the Y. Yeah. So it's like, hey, everybody, my name is Brand, and I'm your local Albertsons prescription filler. And I had a problem today. A man brought in his daughter to get her first birth control, but the problem is that she clearly had a feminine penis. And I'm not really sure what to do about that. So I'm open to any suggestions you all might have of how I should branch this subject safely without hurting anyone. Thank you. Have a good day. You know what I mean? Dude, it was wild. I couldn't believe it. It was, I don't ever bring my phone with me, but man, I wanted my phone. And it was a Sunday, so they closed early, so I would have gone home and got my phone if I thought I could get in there and snap it. So now I got to go back again on a Sunday because I got to get a picture of that thing before she cuts the hair off.
You gotta get like T-shirts with a breast pocket, and then just start rocking the cell phone with the camera pointed out, just recording. Like, leave your house, just hit record, and just pop that thing in the pocket.
I'll just pretend that I work for Project Veritas.
Yeah.
Dude, this is kind of off topic, but I had it on one of my topics for today. But you know what? So, like, it's fucking crazy that Biden went to Ukraine like the day after Trump went to fucking Palestine.
Yeah.
Dude, what a fucking moron. And then Mayor Pete shows up like an asshole. I mean, nobody wants to see you. What the fuck are you going to do? Yeah. So I was thinking, like, if I lived in Palestine, you know what I'd be doing right now? I'd be loading up my fucking 12 gauge with bird spray, and I'd just be shooting every fucking bird I could. Like, if I could find 100 birds on a line and just get as many as I can in succession, and then I just start dumping them in public waterways just to fuck with these people. Could you imagine the CNN report? It's like, well, we thought it was birds. We thought it was the top 6 bill, but in fact, people are just assholes.
Right. Yeah, the whole Biden going to Ukraine instead of Ohio is just, it's in my opinion, it's just another, just like giant middle finger to United States citizens, and
big dick in the throat.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, it's just
suck
more,
it, Palestine.
Yeah, 100%. It's just time and time again, he's just basically just saying, I don't give a shit. Hopefully this next election will, people will actually get out and they'll get them the fuck out of there, because I don't know a whole lot of people that are okay with everything that's going on. Another interesting thing that what was it? So now they're admitting that COVID-19 was released from Wuhan, and so now
and
what I see happening. So now they're going to accept that, and they're just going to try to gloss over the fact that so many people were deplatformed, demonetized, banned from social medias and everything, because that was apparently false information before. But now they're gonna just point the finger at China and be like, "No, war with China. They did this to us. No, them. Let's go."
Yep, exactly. Yep, good money for you. Good eye. I don't even need to cover the story at this point because you just nailed it. That's exactly what's going on there. This is a perfect time for them to pivot to China. And what I'm guessing you didn't hear this story. Let's see. It'll take me a second to find it because I got way too many fucking stories. China releases 12-point peace plan for Russia-Ukraine war. Huh. Bet you didn't hear about that, did you?
Nope.
Of course not, because they don't want people to hear about that. I've got a couple of their points. So number 1, iPhone, $1,200. Number 2, Galaxy Quest, $1,100. Oh, you get a discount. Number 3, chicken chow mein, $8. Number 4, sweet and sour pork, $8. Number 5, 1 free fortune cookie. Oh, would you look at that? I honestly don't see why China would want this war at all. Like, it doesn't make China wants to make money and rule over this whole, like, dude, the corporate press is just so wild. It's like Putin's a madman, yet it's laughable that he'll use nuclear missiles. They're losing in Russia. Oh my God, look, they can't even beat Ukraine, but he's also going to invade all of Europe at the same time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's like China, who wants to kill us all. They just want to kill us all, but also are codependent on us for their survival. What are you going to do? You're going to start taking out all your customers? How fucking... And I think we've gone over this before. Like, the average wage in China is like less than $1,000 a month. How are you going to take over the world on $1,000 a month for your general population? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it's just
I'm pretty sure I heard that. Well, I can't remember if it was China or not, but they're like, healthcare, whatever. I don't know what the word, like their stipend for healthcare from the government used to be $38 a month, and it got reduced to $12. I feel like it wasn't China. I feel like it was another country, but. Another communist country.
That may be like a Japan thing.
Yeah,
or something.
Maybe. But
because they're both suffering from aging populations, and as these populations, they wonder what, like, leftists used to want to get Medicare for all put through. Now they're just like, yeah, we can't do that. Like, we're not stupid. We don't have the money for that shit. Ugh. It's just a real fucking mess, they've caused war after fucking war. It's wild that, like, Americans are so fucking brainwashed that they're just gung-ho to jump on the next thing. It's like, oh, COVID's over, Ukraine. And everybody's just like, yeah, kill you fucking Ukraine. There was that anti-war protest in Washington, D.C. last week, and the only press coverage it got from the corporate news was Rachel Maddow showing a guy waving a Russian. They're like, oh, look, a pro-Russia rally. And dude, they're like, it's wild. Like, Ron Paul spoke there. Tulsi Gabbard spoke there. She's like, one of the speakers was a guest host of Tucker Carlson. And that's how she, like, throws shade at Tulsi Gabbard. It's like, fuck you, man. Like, Tulsi Gabbard's what you used to pretend to be.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. Like, Rachel Maddow pretended to be Tulsi Gabbard until it was inconvenient. And now she's just, no different than Sean Hannity in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Sean Hannity, he's just the fucking worst. I watch Tucker like once or twice a week, and every once in a while I let it roll to Hannity just to see what he says. Yeah. And it's like, dude, it's such a crazy thing when you see the shift from Tucker to Hannity. It's like,
I've seen it.
Yeah, this is...
I've seen it.
You've seen it. Yeah, you know. It's like, dude, Hannity's fucking terrible. He's the worst. Like, you hear Tucker, you're like, okay, I like that. That's a little sketchy. Sometimes I don't understand how he can disconnect on some things. Like, especially with drugs, where, like, he'll be like, oh, it's all about bodily autonomy, and the left used to think that, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, we should throw people in jail for smoking marijuana on the next segment. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How do you do this? And, like, 10 years from now, when weed, like, starts going legal, he's going to be like, I was wrong. I don't know how I got this one wrong. It's like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
It's
what? It makes me think that he's faking it, to be honest. Like, I don't know if he's faking it or not, but, like, when he does shit like that, I want to go, man, he's so slick and he's so fucking good at what he does, and he's pretty funny, and like he's a terrible interviewer, but like you go, oh, that's so brave of you. Thank you for saying that. Well, I really appreciate you saying. Why doesn't somebody else say that? You know, he always says the same shit on his interviews, which is fine. You know, I don't pretend to be a good interviewer. My last interview wasn't even an interview. I think I probably talked as much as Jackman did. I'm not going to let that happen again.
I saw a fucking hilarious meme that like fucked up anytime I see Tucker Carlson, but it was like just a classic picture of him just sitting there, just like like listening to somebody's interviewing talk or something like that, and it was something to the effect of, why does Tucker always look like a dog staring at its owner holding a tennis ball or something like that? Yeah, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's the Tucker smirk.
Yeah.
Did you see that one that I posted on Instagram the other day? It was it had the picture of the two runners, and the one was like that jacked fucking man, and the other one was like a small black girl. It's like, if you go on Tucker, I will fuck you up, bigot.
And then
the one that really cracked me up was the one with the tranny, whoever that thing is, who steals the luggage, transcribed over Alex Jones's face.
Yeah,
that was fucking good.
So what?
So
I feel like how, like you said, for some reason, Americans especially, but it's like COVID, and then you know, it's just like the next like news headline or whatever, and then it's like everybody seems to forget about the shit that just happened like 6 months ago. It's like, let's remember that, but address this new stuff. Does that have anything to do with the fluoride?
Imagine you're playing Leapfrog. Like me and you are playing Leapfrog with a couple other people. You jump over somebody's back, and then you come over to me, and instead of like jumping over my back, I kick you in the nuts.
Yeah.
And then you just go for 5 minutes, and you go, all right, let's try that again. You know, and let's move on to the next one. Then you get kicked in the nuts again, and that goes on for 80 years. You just keep getting kicked in the nuts. You go, all right, let's go to the next one. I'm gonna win. You see, you know, it's like what is that? The football, Charlie Brown in the football. Mm-hmm. He just keeps, you know, every fucking time.
That bitch Lucy.
Yeah. Royal cunt. Yeah, man. It's almost like it's hypnotism in a way. Like, I don't really like interact with people like that anymore. So it's hard for me because I kind of live on the internet and I don't really go out all that much and know that many people. So it's kind of hard for me to gauge like what the normal American actually thinks and feels at this point.
Yeah.
Like, every once in a while, you know, you listen to Alex, oh, people are waking up and this and that. And you're like, oh, yeah, you get all fired up. And then you see something in reality where you're just like, no, they're not. These people are morons. So,
dude,
yeah, I don't know.
I swear it has to do with population. Like the closer more people are together, the fucking dumber the fucking dumber they are. You spread people out a little more and a little more common sense and take that for whatever you want, but that science.
Yeah. But, you know, don't you want to move to a 15-minute city?
No.
I mean, that's the future, Nolan. Right?
Hey man, we just got a Chick-fil-A. I'm happy with that right now.
And see, the sad thing is that like my ex-wife would have been all in on something like that. She'd been like, "Oh, this is great." Like, and not even have like thought of any of the other like ramifications. Just be like, "Oh, I get to get coffee, and then I go to work," and like that's kind of the airheaded ditziness I think of America, where they don't even see the electric fence. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, we're gonna put up a Jurassic Park fence at the edge of your city, but it's like, well, I don't go to the edge because my work's over there. So what do you mean? There's no fence. What are you talking about? Fence? Yeah. It's not a fence. Like, what do you mean? There's no fence. It's right fucking there. Yeah. Well, I was gonna lay off a Harley Davidson for this week at least, but then that story came across, man, and I just couldn't fucking help myself. 115-year-old Harley Davidson becomes the most expensive bike sold at auction at $935,000. Isn't that fucking wild? So not even a month after that, your boss, the moron, goes on and gives an interview saying, we're going to be all electric in the future. They sell the most expensive bike ever. But, you know, we should just change everything we're doing.
Well, like I said, the whole thing of Harley as up until today, it's the big part of their company is heritage, and there's a whole lot of engineering design aspects of their bikes, even their current ones, that don't make any sense, but they do things that way because it makes Harley Davidson riders feel like it's still the same bike from 1960 or 1970 or what have you.
Yes, it makes the bike worth something. Yeah. It's craftsmanship. That's what it really is. It's craftsmanship. This bike is worth something because it was built with American pride, with, you know, steel from this country. That's why those bikes were what they were. Yeah. And, you know, to bring in some asshole who's then going to just nuke the entire company for ESG is wild. So I thought, you know, maybe I got this guy wrong. Let's do a little bit of research and get to know your boss. So Yoshan Zietz, I can't even pronounce his fucking name, is the president, CEO, and chairman of the board of Harley Davidson. He served, you know, so as the chairman and board of Harley Davidson, you'd think, you know, this guy's probably born into it. Maybe his grandfather, his great-grandfather started this company, or maybe they worked on the line and worked their way up throughout, you know, and then they passed it down the torch to his son. You know, that's got to be what's going on, right?
His grandfather shot an American off of a Army issue Harley Davidson, then took that bike back to his German village and gave it to his father, who then passed it down to him.
Yes. That's how he got his first Harley. Has to be, right? Okay. He served as the chairman and CEO of Puma for 18 years.
Puma, like the athletic
the fucking
wear
shoe company. Yeah, the fucking shoe company. Yeah, well, maybe he's just a lifelong Harley. Maybe that's, you know, that doesn't mean he didn't get his first Harley that way, right?
Yeah.
All right. He also served as the board member of luxury goods company Kering and chaired the Sustainability Committee, for whom he developed its global sustainability strategy. Oh, that sounds just all nice and warm and toasty inside. That makes you feel great, right? Zietz co-founded the global nonprofit initiative, the B Team. He also founded Zietz Museum Contemporary Art Africa. Oh, so he's also a colonizer. He's got his roots in apartheid South Africa. And as of June 2022, Zietz is a board member of Harley Davidson, the B Team, financial services company Kramishe, and the Kenya Wildlife Service. Zietz also previously served on the board of ecotourism company Wilderness Safaris. That sounds like a scam. So, nothing about motorcycles. Here, early life. Zietz was born in Germany. He studied in Germany, Italy, France, and the United States, and graduated from European Business School in International Marketing. Not a goddamn thing about motorcycles. But, that's just Wikipedia. He doesn't have any control of it. So let's read something that he wrote.
Oh, fuck.
This is Jochen Zietz LinkedIn profile. About, as president and CEO of Harley Davidson, my focus is leading an iconic company as the most desirable motorcycle brand in the world and delivering our mission and vision for riders and enthusiasts. I am passionate about socially and environmentally conscious global business practices and co-founded the B Team with Sir Richard Branson to bring together the world's top business leaders to help others find a better way of doing business, prioritizing a well-being of people and the planet alongside making profit. So, it's always great when they put the well-being of, the rest of the world before making money for their stockholders.
Yeah.
Let's see what else he says. I am also co-founder of the Zietz MOCAA and founded the Zietz Foundation, The Long Run, which studies safeguards of 21 million acres and touches the lives of 750,000 people worldwide. So, again, not a fucking thing about motorcycles. Like, you would think, as a CEO of what he called the most desirable motorcycle brand in the world, you'd at least lie and say, it was a dream come true to take this job as a lifelong motorcycle enthusiast. This was just the best position. But no, not a goddamn thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure I mentioned before how. So I've heard,
and in fact, he's actually involved in things that are actively trying to get rid of the motorcycle industry.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I've heard that Harley has a pretty high turnover rate of CEOs, and
yeah, you betcha.
Call me crazy, but maybe they brought this guy in for the interim until hopefully maybe, there's a presidential change.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think this is we're going to separate ourselves from the rest of the industry by doing this social responsible capitalism, stakeholder capitalism. So stakeholder capitalism isn't like having a fiduciary duty to your stockholders. We have a duty to make the best product for the people that are affected by our product. So maybe that means we need to make these things a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
Because, people out there don't like the noise. So maybe that's one of the things we'll do. Like, I don't think this is I think this is hey, we're going to go a different direction. We're going to bring this guy in who's one of these, billionaire CEO socialists who wants to bring in this new age of capitalism where everybody gets their fair share and everybody's taxed fairly and blah, blah, blah. I think that they're trying to make themselves into I don't know, dude, imagine having a sticker on the tank. This bike is ESG friendly. Like, yeah. That'd bring in some serious fucking investors because they can go, all right, now we can dump our money into this thing and get write-offs for all this bullshit.
Send them right to Ukraine.
Yeah.
But I don't. That's why I think it has to be kind of like a temporary. Just maybe try to, I don't know, float by this fucking weird ass time for a few years, because there's absolutely no way in my mind how the Harley Davidson brand could ever go 100% electric. Like, you know, maybe in like 1,000 years, yeah, sure, whatever. I have no fucking idea. But as far as the next 100 years, for them to go completely electric, it's not going to be Harley Davidson anymore. That, like,
I don't know, man.
Even just the transition from their classic platforms to the new Revolution Max engine platform, that, in my opinion, was a huge diversion from their norm, and, in my opinion, a good step into the future. But that was such a minor thing for them to go from where they're at to 100% electric, and then the live wire, I feel like, was a perfect experiment.
So this is the point I was going to make. So try not to let's try and look at it this way for a second. Don't look at this guy as a person. Look at this guy. What is this guy? He is the live wire, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like, he comes in, I'm sustainability, ESG, blah, 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 the whole thing. He is the live wire. If you were going to bring somebody in to do that job that you're talking about, let's bring somebody in who talks the talk and will, like, get through this bullshit until Trump gets back into office. Let's say that. You know what I mean? The live wire is, $140 million. That's the most expensive pair of golden handcuffs I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Because you would want this guy, if that is your guy, you know what I mean? If this is just your figurehead for the time being, if he's your Joe Biden, you know what I mean? If he's your Joe Biden, you don't want him to have much power. Like, how much power does Joe really have at this point?
None.
Every time he says something, his flack comes out and, like, translates for him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he didn't really mean that. It's like, well, that's what he said.
Yeah, but the live...
You know what I mean? So, like, if you were going to have that guy, you would want to have him locked down. You, like, look, dude, we're going to give you $200,000, $500,000. Who knows? This guy probably makes a couple million a year. Let's say we're going to give you $5 million a year to talk this shit, but you don't have any fucking power whatsoever. Like, I could see that, and maybe we'll give you a small bike program. Like, we'll give you the live wire program, but we're not giving you $140 million. But then you also have to bring in the possibility that live wire scam is his scam. All his people that he's, his nonprofits, all his bullshit, all those people that he's on boards with, hey, I'm in Harley. We're going to make this live wire. We're going to get it all jacked up. We're going to get a bunch of investors in. Then you're going to be able to yank your money and make a cool profit. And Harley's going to be left with the bill. And I'm out of here in a couple years anyways.
But I feel like I would have to look. I'm not sure when he became Harley's CEO, but
2017.
When?
17.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. When did the live wire program start, though?
Like 19.
Yeah. All right. Well,
like
that was my only real question.
It first hit. Yeah, I think it first hit shelves or like got out to the stores in 19 or 20.
Yeah, but
so that would be and development. Like, that would be about the perfect time. He's going to come in because they're going to ask you're interviewing a new CEO. What are you going to do? How are you going to bring value to the best motorcycle in the world? What are you going to do? I'm going to bring you into the next century. We're going to start a new program. We're going to sell electric bikes to China. We're going to sell electric bikes to the Philippines. We're going to sell them in Japan. Fuck Americans. We don't like these people anyways. We're all Democrats here, right? Right. Good. Fuck these people. we're going to bring in the new. I think that's what happened. I think he got them all jacked up. They go, hey, look, we're not selling bikes anymore. Our whole fucking demo is aging out and dying. We got to do something to bring it into the new century. And I think this guy sold him on that bullshit.
Got all jacked up on speed and went in there and said,
yeah,
you'd want bikes? No more gas bikes.
As he's crushing up Adderall on his hand. No more fossil fuels. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's what's going on. I just don't see, like, that would be the most expensive Joe Biden. Well, I mean, Joe Biden's, he's doing, I don't know, man. Without knowing more about, like, about these finances, and, like, I tried looking into that deal and figuring out who made the money, and it's like, good luck figuring that shit out.
Into the what?
I don't know who made the fucking money. Huh?
Into the what? Look into...
Oh, into that Livewire deal,
that
SPAC that they did. I was looking into it to see who made the money, and it's like, I don't know who made the fucking money. Who knows?
At the end of the day,
somebody
BlackRock,
made the money.
Vanguard.
Yeah,
it's like that's the end all be all of everything, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was some fucking nonprofit that this asshole's connected to.
Okay,
nonprofits are the new thing.
Oh, for sure.
You remember our CEO of Patagonia, where he's got that fucking scam set up where he's got all the voting rights and no taxes now.
Nonprofits are the most profitable companies around.
Yeah, dude. Bill Gates has increased his net wealth by like 20% since he went nonprofit.
Have you seen?
So I have this thing pulled up. Harley actually put out this. They have this book. It's a 2021 book. It's called "Further, Faster, Together: Inclusive Stakeholder Management Report." So this is literally like socialist capitalism. You remember that guy? I think his name's John Mack. He created Whole Foods, and then he came up with this fucking. Oh, we're going to do, he calls it like conscious capitalism or some bullshit like that, which is just like a buffer word for socialism, essentially. And then his fucking business started going to shit and people started trying to unionize on him. And he's like, well, I don't know if this is such a great idea. But yeah, dude, you flick into this book and it's got the CEO on the front page. And he's wearing like all Harley gear and he's sitting on top of an adventure bike. But the gear's brand new. It's like that picture of Mayor Pete in the photo where he's got all that brand new construction gear on. And he's just like leaning up against a bike. And it's like, dude, you don't even look like you've ridden that bike for 5 minutes. It's so wild how they like can't even, I don't know. They can't even figure out how to put together a good propaganda pamphlet.
Yeah, but those are fine point details that only experienced seasoned riders would care about, which is a smaller percentage of motorcycle riders, I guess. But
yeah, I watched an interesting interview with Justin Barsha yesterday or the day before. Somebody asked him about the new super motocross thing, and he was just like, fuck, man. And you could see him kind of like, should I say this? Should I not say it? And then he was kind of being diplomatic about what he was saying. But then he went on to say like the exact same thing that I said. It's too many fucking races. We need to have more motocross, less supercross.
Yeah.
Tone this shit down.
Yeah.
It's just too fucking much. And as soon as like I could see him saying, I was like, oh man, here it comes. Like this is he's gonna let it go. Out of all the riders, he's the one I would expect to say something because just kind of how he is. And yeah, man, I think it's such a big mistake that they're making. I think they're really jacked up on Hayden Deegan. He's got, this massive social media following. And I think they're going, look, the next generation of kids coming up have got social media. So it's just going to blow us up. We're going to be able to pack the stands with all these people. And that was kind of the case in Anaheim. Like, you could hear the crowd blow up every time he did something. So, like, they got a point, but that was in one city. Like, they were right back to not selling tickets again last weekend.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big fucking mistake.
Well, I mean,
big.
If anything, fucking just keep it all, I guess, localized. Las Vegas, Anaheim, San Diego.
Yeah.
And just make
that
it
was that was kind of my point. Yeah.
Fuck it.
You do
Televise
you've
it.
got Vegas,
San
San Diego. Exactly. You get Vegas, you got Anaheim, San Diego, you do a Northern California round. Yeah. Then you do Daytona, Texas, and maybe another big city. But aside from that, you go, fuck it. That's it. That's enough.
Yeah.
We can do 10 of these things instead of 18 or 21, however many they're going to do.
Hit each spot twice. Do, whatever. And
you don't even need to do it twice. I would say 10 Supercrosses is plenty.
Yeah.
I would go 12 outdoor, 10 Supercross, and then your 3 playoff rounds. Have 13.
That was one thing I felt like I was going to say last time. Like, why not do, less, like you're saying, less Supercross, but throw in, in some of the outlier areas, throw in some of those fucking straight rhythm races.
That was another one of the. I think I might have made that point before, but yeah, then it would be more like an event.
Yeah.
Something that people actually want to go out and
exhibitionist,
see. You know what I mean?
But they're still
you could figure out a way to do straight rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like for the top guys, maybe for the top guys, like that'll be your, that's your playoff or something like that. Maybe who knows? But, like I was explaining on the last episode, Supercross is essentially a race for one obstacle at this point, the whoops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, everybody else can turn pretty good. Nate Thrasher was doing a badass fucking line first moto this weekend. First moto, he's like, there's this double into a box jump, like one of the, those tunnel jumps. So you're going over it. So like everybody was going inside, roll, jump. Some of the guys were rolling outside, double in, jump. This dude's hucking the double through the inside line on a 250F. And then nobody does it in the 450s in the first 450 moto. And then comes second 250 moto, all the 250s are doing it. Second 450 moto, all the 450s are doing it. And that kind of proves my point again. Like, dude, the 250F is plenty fast, Yep. I heard one of the guys, like on a YouTube video the other day, like rode a 450 for the first time. I don't remember who it was. And he was like, dude, this bike is fucking insane. He's like, I don't know why a normal person would ever buy one of these things. Like you could just get a 250F. And that's from a pro rider, And that was kind of been my point for a long time. Like 450s kind of destroyed the sport because they're too fucking fast.
Yeah.
Like you could have a 300 or a 350, be just fine.
Yep.
250Fs. I mean, I think if you gave a guy a choice right now, say you gave Jet Lawrence the fastest 250F rider, if you go, all right, look, you can ride a 250F or a 252 stroke in this class. They're going to pick 250F every time. Yep. And it's like, the 252 stroke was the top bike. And, now it's not even... I mean, there's one guy he qualifies every now and then on a 252 stroke. But aside from that, these things are too fucking fast. It's just the bottom line. The tracks can't handle it. The riders can't handle it. Chase Sexton's the fastest dude on 2 wheels right now, and he's crashed at the end of like 3 of the races this year. And it's like one of these crashes where you can't even really pinpoint a mistake. It's just he's screaming, and then he's on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's these bikes are so fast, and the suspension is so fucking stiff that if you make one little slip up on one of these, they're just too fucking tight, and before you know it, you're on the ground.
Nope.
People are crashing all the time. Even the top guys are crashing right now. Usually the top guys don't crash out all that much, but the tracks are just fucking beat. And they're doing these, they call them triple crowns now.
Oh, yeah.
Where you do, instead of like, have you seen those? So instead of doing a qualifier heat race main, you just do 3 mains. And dude, by the end of the 3rd main, the track's fucking destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they either need to, there's nothing really you can do on Supercross. They're temporary. It's temporary shit. They either got to break them up like a couple nights and do a lot of grooming between them or something, you know? There's no other solution.
Yeah. But it doesn't work. Like, for a lot of the guys, like, they win because the track gets destroyed.
Yeah.
You know? Chase Sexton's screaming on the track early on in qualifiers. He's setting down blazing laps, but by the end of the race, Cooper Webb is on him, and he's able to take these inside lines that nobody else can take, and it's pretty slick watching him. The other day, he on weekend before last, everybody was tripling on top of this step on, step off, so it was triple on, step off, and in the end of the main, he just starts quadding all the way over the fucking thing from the outside and gaining on everybody. Nobody else found the line. It's like, man, pretty slick. And that would have been a terrifying jump. Dude, some of the stuff they got these guys doing, the step on, step offs are just insane. But the Dragon's back. They had a Dragon back to step on, step off this weekend. It's like, dude, I mean, you want to die? Is that what you wanted? You just want to see somebody die?
People want a show. Are you not entertained?
I mean, with that, we will see you next week. Good night.